Stay tuned. I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. Thanks for joining me on the live stream this morning, or if you're watching the recording later, I'm glad to have you here. Just a very quick heads up that today, being Tuesday, November 29th, 2022, we are in the final hours of my Cyber Monday sale. So if you're looking to get a hold of some of my best training at a very reduced price, check out the link in the description below and get yourself some great training, all right? Do that now here as we get to the end of this year, as you prepare for 2023, so that when you hit the ground running, or so that when you hit the ground, you will be running come January 1st with some good voiceover training. Speaking of which, what I want to do for you today is I want to demonstrate and show you how to do this. I actually had a audio syncing project that I recorded yesterday. And I did this I did the entire project for my voiceover blueprint students, which I do. That's part of them being a student, is not only getting my training, the video training on demand, it's getting almost daily live sessions in a group context. But also as I record my projects, do auditions and such, I stream as I work so you can watch and see how to do what I do. So today I'm not going to do the entire project obviously for the sake of time, but I'm going to show you the basic method that I use. So first of all, heads up, this is not syncing, this is not lip syncing. In other words, if it's a project that has a person whose lips are moving and you have to sync your audio, your voice to them, that's going to require a little more work and a little bit of a different technique. What I'm going to share with you is the technique or the type of syncing that shows up most in my inbox to do, which probably is pretty representative for most voiceover talent, where you are putting your voice to a pre-existing video where it doesn't have to be synced to somebody's lips, but rather you want to make sure that what you're talking about is corresponding with the topic that's on the video. So what I've done here, or first of all, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch the screen so that you can see my desktop. All right, so hopefully right now you can see my desktop. I've got Adobe Audition open. I've got the video that I'll be syncing to open over here, and then I have the text with the times, the time codes on them. So first of all, let's just take a little bit of a listen to the video just to get an idea of pacing and what we're doing. This is an industrial video. It's for a company, I believe, in Sweden. It's about a Mir 100, which is an industrial type robot, but let's just take a listen to a little bit of it.
Flexibel und individuell wie ein Familienbetrieb, gleichzeitig so professionell und qualitativ hochwertig wie ein Konzern. Dafür steht die 1969 gegründete IFM Electronic GmbH.
Okay, now we have a sense of what this is about. The tone, they wanted me to be able to listen to the voice being used on this particular version of it, so I would get a sense of pacing and tone. So it's pretty straightforward, corporate, industrial type of read. Now, the way I do this is I pull up the script. Okay, the script has the time codes. So what it's showing a begin and an end time to each line. Now, I'm going to tell you this from experience, and that is this. The beginning of the line is much more important than the ending of the line. Not to say that the ending is not important, but again, we're not lip syncing. So if it doesn't precisely match, there's more forgiveness on the back end than on the front end. So for instance, when a new scene is starting and you're talking about that scene, you want to make sure that you begin talking about it as that new scene is appearing. And if it runs over like a quarter or a half of a second and the next line starts after that, that's not as big a deal. Because what you'll find is that oftentimes, depending on what the language is that English often runs longer than the language that's in the original, which is very true here. So a lot of these lines would take me far longer to say than the young lady that you just heard in the previous video. So it would be next to impossible. As a matter of fact, some of these lines would be downright impossible to hit exactly on that line. Or if I were to do it, it would be so fast it would almost be unintelligible. So again, I'm looking to make sure that the beginning of the scenes start off properly, and I'm going to keep it as tight as I possibly can. But again, there's more forgiveness on the back end than there is on the front end. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here, flexible and individual like a family business. And also you'll see some of these sentences are split. So I'm not going to, for instance, I'm not going to pause in the middle of a sentence and wait 3 seconds to start the next line if it's part of the same sentence, because that wouldn't sound right either. So I'm just using my common sense on that. And I'll keep reading this fluidly, even if this line, which I know the print is small, by the way, I made it much bigger than it was before. This line, yet as professional, starts at 10.816 seconds. And by the way, I don't worry so much about the hundredths and thousandths of a second. I will start it at about 10.8. I'll round it to the nearest tenth of a second. So the first thing I'm going to do is just start recording. Flexible and individual like a family business, yet as professional and top quality as a corporation. This is what IFM Electronic GmbH, founded in 1969, represents. We want to relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. To enable concentration on the business processes, we would like to implement just-in-time production, with as little material as possible on the production line. To remain flexible, IFM therefore decided to use autonomous mobile robots, AMR for short, supplied by Mobile Industrial Robots. All right, so I did the first few sections. So we know that the beginning of this audio begins at 7.8 seconds into the video. And I want this video or this audio to be able to be dropped right into it. So what I'm going to do is just record some silent video or silent audio. Okay, let me grab that, copy it, take it to the beginning, I'm going to paste it in. So again, I want this to start at 7.8 seconds. So what I'm going to do is, okay, here's 7.8 is right there. In Adobe Audition, I can see the time up here. I'm just going to silence that. So now the first 7.8 seconds is silent. And what I'll do is I'll start the audio there. Okay, so now the audio is starting on time at 7.8 seconds. Flexible and individual like a family business. Yet as... Okay, now it shows the second section of that first sentence starting at 10.8 seconds. Yet as okay, it's right there, starting about at 11. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to silence that, and then I'm going to shave some of that out to make it as close to 7.8 or 10.8 as I can. Make it, as a matter of fact, hold on, I took a little bit too much out. So here we go, let's take a listen. Like a family business, yet as professional and top quality as a corporation. Okay, next line starts at 15.5. This is what okay, 14, I've got starting at 15, less than 15 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to silence this gap here, and then I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it back in here. And so I've got some dead space to work with, and I need this to start at 15.5. So look right there, there's 15.5 according to Adobe Audition, right there. So I'll just edit that out. Now the next line starts at 15.5. This is what IFM Electronic GmbH, founded in 1969, represents. Next line starts at 23.4. We want to... Okay, so I need to put in some more dead space. There we go. 23.4 is right there. So now that line starts at 23.4 seconds. We want to relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. Next line starts at concentration. 25.7. To enable okay, now as you can see, this last line wasn't done until 26.5. We want to relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. I'll speed it up a little bit. We want to relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. Okay, now I'm going to copy that line, undo what I just did, Control Z, and then paste it over this. This will make it a little bit faster without being too fast. We want to relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. Still not possible to start at 25.6 because 25.6 is like right here. So that's okay, I'll just tighten it up as much as I can. Relieve the pressure on our employees as far as possible. To enable concentration on the business processes, we would like to implement just-in-time production with as little 30.4 is when the next one starts. And as you can see, it's already behind. It's okay, I know because I did this yesterday, it all works out in the end, but I'm going to have to tighten this up as best I can. So I'm just silencing in between. There'll be music there, so, the silence won't be deafening. so to speak, processes. We would like to implement just-in-time production with as, okay, 30 point, okay, still, that's okay. We're just going to tighten it up as best we can. I can't, 30.4 is like back here, so I can't do that, but I'll start right there. To implement just-in-time production with as little material as possible on the production line. To remain flexible, 34.2 is where that starts. Okay, now 34.2 is right here. That's a little tight, so let's make it about 34.4. To remain flexible, IFM therefore decided to use autonomous mobile robots, AMR for short, supplied by Mobile Industrial Robots. And there we go. Okay. So, and again, I did the project in its entirety yesterday, and what I found was there was plenty of room for me to play with. So there were some big gaps where I could catch up where I got behind by maybe a second or two or a fraction of a second in some of the lines. But what you'll notice is each sentence started as close as I could get it to their designated time. Again, sometimes the English language is a little, has more sounds, a little wordier than in other languages. So, and you can't always make up for that by just speed talking. But that's how I did it. And again, it was by the time this was finished, timing was not an issue. It was all, I was able to work it all out. So let me go back to, there we go, just that. So that is how I sync audio to video. I just work my way line by line by line. And the more you do it, the more used to it you'll become, and it won't be quite so intimidating or frustrating. And if you come to a point where it's impossible to even get it close, because, again, oftentimes the English does not translate in terms of time, then you just have to have a discussion with your client to figure out how to best move forward. They may want you to speed read or speed up the audio. They may want to rewrite some lines. There's a number of things they could do to approach it, but that's the basic idea. All right, again, we're in the final hours of my Cyber Monday sale. We wrap it up today. So if you want to get some great voiceover training at a really reduced price, get an opportunity to watch some more of this kind of stuff, but in its entirety, as I do it live for my my coaching group, Voiceover Blueprint Group, make sure you check out the link below. All right, let's see who we've got on this morning. Man, we have a great turnout this morning. Steve, good morning. Ty Moore, how are you doing in Warsaw? One of the members of the Voiceover Blueprint. Hey, Sean, what's going on in Salt Lake City? Doug in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Steve in Oshkosh. David in South Carolina. Janet in Florida. Blue in New Jersey. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. David in Lexington, Kentucky. We're headed to, my wife and I are headed to Lexington this Sunday night to see the Pentatonics in their Christmas concert. It will be a very late night, but looking forward to that. Jason in Mobile. What's up? Neil in Fairfield. Theo in Union Station in Chicago. Barb in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Philip in Tokyo. Bruce in Louisville. Kevin in Oak Park. Michelle in Indianapolis. Keith in Seattle. Matt in Brunswick, New Jersey. Gretchen, good morning, and Adrian. John in Fort Wayne. Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Craig in Goddard, Kansas. Mark is in Albuquerque. Bernard, good morning to you. Tim in Altoona. He says, I think I heard you on a Chewy commercial to get to this video. I've never done a Chewy commercial. It must be, what they say about voiceover talent. We all sound the same, right? Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Brian, the difference between the program that was advertised for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the Blueprint is what we're offering. I'm offering like a portion of it. So I've taken out a few of the modules and have bundled them together for you, but you'll have a chance to upgrade to the full-blown one with credit towards that. As a matter of fact, you get a special offer on that if you decide to do the Blueprint. I'm sorry, if you decide to do the Cyber Monday sale. Hey, Galen in Cincinnati. Carl Lynn heading into my studio now. We'll watch your replay. Lake Como, Italy. Good morning, Carlin. Robert, how you doing in Chattanooga? What's up? Riley in Texas. Rochester, New York, in the house. Mariella in Costa Rica. Good morning. Rusty in Marquette. Don in Kansas City. Lemuel in Fort Wayne. Hey, Rob. Is this your 900th video? If so, congratulations. I know that I'm nearing my 900th. Is this my 900th? It may well be. I don't know, but thank you, Rob. And Catherine in Plant City, Florida. Awesome. Hey, guys, thanks again so much for being here. Check out the links in the description below, and I'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow morning. Have a great day.